Yes, uh, we are now scanning the content of chapter 4. Uh, Prior to the prior video clips, I'll continue to explanation in brief, which introduce the titles of this subject. Okay, so last class we have mentioned the content of chapter 4. Okay, uh, market research and product adaptations. And market research and trade product adaptations. We will attend the foreign missions. What is the foreign missions? Uh, Sometimes we call this trade missions or foreign missions, whatever terms. Uh, the trade mission or foreign missions are going out to some certain countries which is interested in, and then prior to we arrive up there, we will arrange the meeting schedule in advance by some, usually in this case, the entity of handling this mission is done usually by trading house. The trading house will detect the customer according to the request of, export or import, and then they were searching for the matching customers in their area and connecting together between them. Okay, and they will have some trade missions in certain place. In this case, usually uh, scheduled, the buyers or scheduled, uh, export will be, arranged for the meeting in a certain place. For example, one expert one asks some trading house to arrange a meeting schedule with their potential client in their area, the the area wherever, okay, interested in. Then trade house will arrange and detect by their method, okay, according to their technical accumulated, and they will find and call them and explain the product in advance. In this case, the explanation is not in, uh, expertise, but in general, okay. Uh, but most of trade house has their own expertise, meaning that they are very expertise some certain and specific product, so they are very technical, okay, and they know exactly whether the parties of there is the just a person of their customers want to meet. So once you arrive, the mission price. The mission prices can be most of the mission price is the price where the you know waiting persons area. Then you will have meetings, each of them by interval, okay, by 30 minutes or 1 hours or whatever, okay, according to the schedule. At site, at once visiting, you will have a batch of your potential, client, which is significantly selected by your agent, like so-called trade house. Okay, and then most of these trade missions were very high satisfactory. Okay, because this client is selected according to the very expertise view of point. Uh, anyway, uh, this is a sort of we call the trade missions, and trade shows as different from trade missions. Trade missions in this case, most of the seller or most of buyer Especially in Sarah, they just bring some brochures and book read, like that. Okay, the pamphlet, like that, to show them by the media. Okay, or you can bring your laptop computer showing the video regarding the product, but you don't bring any your product, especially when your product is a huge one, you cannot bring them. But trade shows, you bring your product, you bring your actual, you bring your real product, to the site and show your customer uh, how it works, how it looks like, okay, how it dimensions, or like that. You see, every details your custom can decide whether they were purchasing or not by detecting real things in trade shows. So uh, we often can see the trade shows on ratch of the exhibition room in Korean too. Like that, the trade shows are established and prohibit exhibited, in many areas in the global area. So you can participate, wherever you want by uh, take part in, you know, trade shows, trade shows missions. Okay, you can apply whether you want to go to out the trade shows by simple application, but the drawback these trade shows comparing to foreign missions is you spend a higher, you know, expenditure to foreign missions. Okay, because you have to bring your real product. Okay. And also uh, you have to fabricate your showroom up there, an exhibition room, a rental fee, and any uh, other charges, and also expenditure for your personnel to travel to, not only one or two, but sometimes many required, to participate in the trade show. So several times a higher expenditure to foreign missions. So, but you have to very careful where you will participate. So you need to the careful choosing a trade show. So you have to consider which trade show is proper according to expenditure, according to the result of your participation. Uh, Next, adapting the product. So up to now, we have to consider that we have to all view the market research. Next, we will see the adapting the product. The adapting to the technical norms and national regulations. National regulation is very important. Okay, we have different regulations. Okay, the regulation can be sometimes non-tariff barrier. The non-tariff barrier meaning that even the country do not charge tax for the product, but instead by a very strict regulations, it is more difficult by paying tax, to enter certain country. Okay, even tax is higher, you don't have to be worried about because you have only to pay for the higher tax. That's it. You can pass. Okay, you can enter that market, but once the regulation is very high, a regulation like TBT, technical barrier, technical barrier, very higher regulation standard, then that is more difficult than high taxation. Okay? Sometimes high taxation is easier for the new market. Okay? The regulations can be play a critical role as non-tariff barrier. The non-tariff barrier is very abstract barrier, very abstract, very vague, which cannot be seen, but it is actually strong, resistant than tax. Okay, so we have to consider whether there is regulations and norms. Okay, the TBT, technical barrier. The technical barrier should be considered whether my product can pass their regulations or deter their regulations. Okay, uh, you have to consider this one seriously because this is abstract. This is invisible but stronger than actual currency taxation. Okay. Okay. Next, adapt to the needs of the market. Okay. The need to the market meaning that whether my customer of there may be potential customer prior to before to buy my product, they are my potential customer. Can my product can satisfy my product requirement, my product standard? Okay, we have to consider. Okay, what is the my uh, customer potential customer is used. Okay, the how much the grade and quality of my competitors prior to I enter into that market. Okay. Uh, Also the quality. Quality is very important. Quality. How higher grade? How the quality? Okay. Uh, is my product is good in using and is my product attracted by them like that? Okay. Anyway, the quality is very important criteria. So we have to compare my product quality to my competitors. Okay. Uh, the product identification, appropriate name. Appropriate name is very important. In sometimes we made a big mistake to name the product because we don't know the cultural background of that area. Okay, so we have to know the cultural background, economic background, social background, law background of that country prior to we step into the market. Because sometimes we can, provoke, the emotion of that area. Because sometimes the name we named for our product can stimulate the emotional, sensations of our customer owing to religious regions or owing to cultural regions, whatever. Okay, if you don't know the background of cultural, including the religious and social background, or sometimes historic background, we'll make a big mistake at the first step of our entrance. Okay, so it can damage you hugely. Okay, so you have to be very careful once you name your product. So we have to uh, we have to make our appropriate name, appropriate name of our product. Okay, okay. Sometimes the cultural friendly. Okay, they're social friendly. Okay, and labeling and introduction for use is also important. And the choice of brand is also important. And design and packing also. Okay, it's critical items we have to consider. Okay, once you adapt the product to the area we are trying to enter into. Okay, Okay, then let's go to the chapter 5, negotiations. Uh, okay, the negotiation is the we have negotiation is the okay whether we will have reached our the contract or not. Okay, that is negotiations. Okay, sometimes we have to yield, or sometimes we have to arguing, or sometimes we have to friendly. Uh, in the middle of the negotiation, we have many emotional, you know, uh, variations. Okay, but in the end, we have to conclude, uh, the mutual agreement. But we to reach the mutual agreement, the negotiation technique and process and preparations and communications and relations between the party, and also the critical one which cannot be omitted is strategies. Okay? Strategy is very important once you enter into your negotiation with your parties. Okay? Okay. Uh, also, the offer and counter offers. Oh, what is the meaning of offer and counter offers? Okay, once you offer your pricing, you are seller, you are expert, okay, and your customer import ask you pricing, okay. Once you pricing them, we call this offer. Offer, okay. Uh, the post offer rarely satisfy your customer. Then naturally your customer return with the counter offer. The meaning of counter offer is he is not agree with your offer. Okay? Then we call that counter offer. The counter offer meaning even one of subject, one of item, whether it is pricing, whether it is the delivery time, whether it is the payment time, whether it is the payment method, whatever. Okay, even one of your customer do not agree, then all of your offer is rejected. That is the characteristic of count offer. Okay. Okay, you have cautious in this point. Once your customer reject a certain items you quote, you pricing, okay? Then even your customer reject one item, it it seems that it is considered that all of your item is entirely, meaning itself entirely rejected. Okay? Even your customer do not reject each of item except one item he rejected. Automatically, all of item on your offer is rejected. Okay, so new offer by new opposite should be provided to your customer. Okay, that is one thing you have to keep in your mind. That is one thing that you have to keep in your mind. Okay. The other element of negotiations we will go into, and we will look into that once you rush into the subject again. Okay. Okay. And then we will see the Vienna Conventions and the formation of contract and obligations of the seller, the obligation of the buyer, uh, passing the risk exemption right there. Okay, we will see these items in detail. once you rush into the titles and chapters. Okay. Uh, Now we are scanning the subjects and titles. So we will learn in this subject for one semester. Okay. For your general understanding of whole, the picture. For your understanding of a whole picture of your subject, international trading. Okay. Just we are scanning. Okay. So you don't have to worry about, even you don't understand what I'm saying now. We're back to again from initials and then we will go in detail. But I told you I will select significant subject only because we don't have much time to handle all of this subject in one semester. Okay? Okay, then go to chapter 6, the transport and logistics. The chapter 6 dealing in transport and logistics. This is also very critical subject in international tradings. Okay, so the choice of the transport mode. Okay, uh, the transport options and trams, road transportations, rail transport, air freight. We divide it like this. Okay. Anyway, back to the choice of the transport mode. Step 1, understanding our own need. Okay. Step 2, understanding the client need and capability. Step 3, evaluate the carrier. Step 4, getting the best price. Okay. This is meaning of how we will select. Okay. How we will select our transportation method and how we will compromising and settle down the pricing with the carriers. Okay. And then the transport options, ocean freight, the type of ocean freight service, the liners and the conferences, the ocean freight cost. Okay. Transshipment. Transshipment is the moving the luggage from one ship to another. Okay. Once your port is transport. For example, the luggage from the south area of the China. Okay, they use the small ship because uh, the southern area. No, I'm sorry. Uh, yes, the eastern area of south. Okay, is a foggy, oceans, so they can handle. They can, you know, use the big liners, the middle size, and then to Busan port, and they transship that one to a big vessels to you know to Atlantic to Pacific. Uh, okay, understanding. In this case, we call this the transshipment. Okay, and transshipment options also operate the type of ocean service. We have combined multi-transshipment. Okay, so we will learn the ocean freight cost, the transshipment, non-vessel owning common carrier. We call this one NBOCC. Okay, and MBO non-vessel owner, and also we will deal in trams, the freight rate and chart parties. Uh, Charting meaning that the borrowing ship, borrowing ship. We call this a chartering. Okay. Borrowing ships need sometimes it's not periodically, but not occasionally. Okay. Occasionally, uh, once you need to use the vessel usually the bulk vessel, which is not container. We use ship. Okay, borrowed. So we call this one chartering. Okay. Okay. In this case, the chartering, the freight rate, port handling charge, Okay, and the tips once you used, chartering, and the road transportations, the cost of truck transport, and also tips. Rail transport. Okay, we will run the rail transport, the cost of rail transportations, uh, and few tips also. Okay, and also finally we will run air freight. Okay, air freight by aviations, by airplane. Okay. Okay. Chapter 6, uh, we deal in transport and logistics. Uh, okay. Uh, in the middle of proceeding the scanning of our content, we will learn this semester IFCs at chapter at maybe this is okay in chapter 6. Okay, in the middle of chapter 6. Okay, next class I'll continue from chapter 6. Okay, to the rest of our chapter. I hope so. Be done next class. Okay. Okay, today dismissed. Thank you.